Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. fluxjelly here, coming at you guys with another Starcraft 2 commentary. And today I got a TVZ for you guys on Metalopolis between Shaetan, the red Zerg, spawning at the right position. We have fluxDubstep, the blue Terran, spawning at the left position. This game was actually sent to me by Dubstep. He's part of my team Flux. And he actually told me it was a really good game, and it was really worth casting, so I told him I would do it. So I'm going to put this up on YouTube as soon as I can. I've been fairly busy recently with school and stuff, so I haven't been able to cast too much, and I mean, my internet's been having some trouble, so I can't really upload videos. I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted to, so all that seems to be rectified now. All my schoolwork is done. My internet's back up and running, so it's fairly good now. So I should be bringing you guys some more replays fairly soon. So right now we have Dubstep, standard supplied up depot positioning here. I mean, it looks like he's just going to put this depot, a Rax, and another depot. Kind of shows that he's not going to be going for that proxy 2 Rax either. Pretty much the only thing that can stop a Zerg from 15 hatching early is that proxy 2 Rax. A lot of Zergs had to watch out for that. Still not really much of a reason not to 15 hatch. I mean, I would still favor 15 hatch over anything for a Zerg in any situation, essentially, except I guess Steps of War, but that doesn't really count, I don't think. Anyways. So we do expect a 15 hatch out of Shaetan here. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. We have the Rax going on now for Dubstep. So definitely not going to be a proxy 2 Rax. So good news for the Zerg player. He did scout, however, and he did check this watchtower. Usually the Zerg will send the drone up here, or even just to the watchtower. So that's a little bit risky, but most times just to the watchtower. Usually the Terran will put his barracks right here. As the proxy position. I don't know why they picked right here, but I guess it's some kind of, it times out well, I don't know. But this is where they usually put the Rax for a proxy 2 Rax. So we do have the 15 hash coming out of Shaetan. No surprises there. I'm probably going to win the gas pool into speed. Usually pretty standard. Just a little harassment here with the drone. Really worth doing because, I mean, the Terran has to pull off this extra worker, so that's just a little bit of extra minerals that they're not going to have, which is good. We do see that reactor, or the refinery down, I should say, so we're going to have either, we actually have a tech lab going down, so it looks like we're going to have some Reaper action coming on from Dubstep here. Not as common of an opening as Reactor Hellion, but at the same time, a Reaper build is still completely legitimate. I mean, you can do enough harassment with Reapers, especially on this map where there's like a pretty big cliff you can exploit. Even like right here, you can jump back and forth from the main to the natural. So yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with Reapers. Reapers could work just fine on this map. A little bit of a Reaper expand instead of a Hellion expand. I mean, as a Terran, you do have to do some kind of harassment early. I mean, you have to have some kind of either Hellion play or Reaper play or something along those lines, because, I mean, if you just sit back and let the Zerg do what they want, they're just going to drone up way faster than you can, and they're just going to be able to, like, pretty much outnumber you just through the entire game, because you're just going to let their macro explode. So we do have the first Reaper out now. We'll be able to pick off this drone. The drone will know this is coming, though, so he will see that. The Queen on the way now, which is really good. I mean, the Queen is exactly what you need to deal with the Reapers. You just have to watch out for them kind of exploiting the fact that your creep isn't very big here. I mean, that's easy enough to do. You just bring your Queen in here, and then they can't really kite it very well. They'll take a hit every time. So you can shoo them away. Like, so we do have the Reaper coming in now. Looks like he's gonna jump into the main, try and do some damage to the drone line. I don't expect him to do too much damage. The Queen is just about to pop right now, and the Lings are out. He will be able to pick off these Lings, and one thing you can do with Reaper openings like this is actually force a lot of Lings, which is exactly what you want to do. I mean, the more Lings the Zerg makes right away, actually picking off creep timber there as well, so that was really good. But the more Lings you make them make in the early game, I mean, the less drones they're going to have. So, I mean, it puts you in a better position. Shaetan, though, looking fairly well here. He's not actually overcommitting on Lings. He has 6 now as these 2 eggs are about to pop. So I really don't think he should make any more Lings than this. I feel like he should really stop Ling production at 6 and then just go straight back to drones. So it looks like he's doing. He's making more drones now. So it looks like he is fairly aware that he doesn't need to overproduce on Lings at this point. Speed is almost done. Well, it's halfway done, so it's close enough that, I mean, the Reapers aren't going to do too much damage, even if he does commit to them. Some more drones are on the way. Bailing Nest on the way as well, so he's still got his gas up and running. He's only got 2 on gas, so definitely interesting there. I don't see that too often. Looks like he might try to go for some early layer tech. That's usually, if a Zerg leaves on gas, is usually what he's going to try and go for. We do have 2 Reapers out now, 3 Reapers actually coming out now, running into the 3rd. So this guy's a little bit behind, but these 2 guys are probably going to wait up for him, I would imagine. And yeah, so he's going to run into the natural here with 3 Reapers. He's going to hope to do some damage to the drones here. If you look at the income tab, it's 27 over 21, so if he takes out like 4 or 5 drones, he'll be fine. He's still actually fine. He's got another orbital going down in his main right now, so he's going to have double mule fairly soon. A couple of Lings are out now. These Lings will get taken out. These Reapers have no trouble taking out this many Lings. They'll be running into the natural here, but there are 2 queens here and more lings, so it looks like there's not going to be much damage done here. This Reaper is running for his life right now. He has nowhere to go. There's no queen in the main, though, so they'll be able to take out a couple drones here if he really wants to. He does actually only get 1 drone, but, I mean, 1 drone is better than no drones. Not the best of trades there, but it's not the worst as well, so, I mean, he came out pretty much even there. I mean, there's not really much he's going to be able to accomplish anyways with only 3 Reapers. So we have that second command center floating down here to the natural, so that's going to start muling up fairly soon. Keeping his economy in the game. Double mule, really strong opening. I mean, there's no reason not to get that second command center like that. It's just so many minerals coming in when you have double mule. I mean, it's retarded. So we do have a 3rd queen out now, so some creep spread is going to go down for Shaetan. He does have layer tech actually done already, so really early layer tech. Exactly why he left those drones on gas there. So he's going to go Spire here. And it looks like that we're going to have some Marine medevac play coming out of Dubstep, because, I mean, there's no other reason to get this starport, and he has a lot of racks right now. Stim is started. It looks like this not even going to be going into tanks, just straight up Marine medevacs, so definitely interesting. You do see some people do this. Bomber does it a lot. Makes it work very well. I mean, you just have to be consistent with those drops. You got to keep the Zerg moving at all times. I mean, if you're putting pressure on the Zerg, it's really hard for them to put pressure back on you at the same time. Because, I mean, the Marines just do so much damage, they'll take out your entire base while you try to put pressure on the Terran. So, I mean, it lets you get complete map control. I mean, you can take out a lot of expansions and get your own up, so definitely a good style of play if you can pull it off. These lings won't be able to do that much damage here. This bunker is fairly well defended by these supply depots and Marines behind it, so it looks like for now this expansion will remain untouched. The lings are going to run around and see if they can find any scouting Marines to take out. They're going to be taking up these watchtowers really good. You want to keep that vision. You want to know exactly what the Terran is doing. Not quite sure if you saw the, no, he didn't actually see the tech that Dubstep was doing. He does have to get an Overlord in there fairly soon. He does have to know exactly what he's doing. If he sees this drop play, he's going to be spreading Overlords around the map, which he should actually be doing anyway. But just to catch those drops, you will see that factory, however, so he should be able to pick that off if he really wants to. And Spire's actually a really good choice in this game. The mutas do really help with dealing with the drops and whatnot. I mean, really easily shut down. I mean, all you got to do is leave a couple mutas here, and then, like, say if you took this 4th, put a couple mutas, like, on the outside here, and he pretty much can't drop you at all. So mutas will be able to shut down these drops fairly easily, and I mean, if it gets that serious, he could go into Infestor. Infestor's really good at dealing with straight Marine. So we do have this first drop coming into the main right now. It's going to be 2 medevacs. They're probably going to drop off in the smoky area right here, and then just run in stim. You do a ton more damage if you actually do that, as opposed to dropping, like, on top of a building. If you run in stimmed, I mean, the reaction time is just going to be less, so I mean, you can do a ton of damage. They're going to target down the Spire. I'm not sure if they're going to get it or not. The lings do run in, but these Marines have 2 medevacs behind them, so they're going to be able to kill all these lings, and these mutas should not be engaging right now. All these mutas are going to get taken out as well. This is going to be extremely cost efficient for Dubstep right here. He just took out 4 Mutalisks for the cost of, I mean, like 6 or 7 Marines. The transfusion going off, not quite enough here. More mutas running in. I still don't think he should be engaging with mutas. He's trying to take out these medevacs right now. It's good in theory, but all these mutas are getting taken out. I mean, he really can't afford to lose this many mutas. He just lost 8 Mutalisks to 2 drops. I mean, really cost efficient there from Dubstep. Exactly what he wanted to do. Actually did more damage than you would think. Killing off that many mutas, I mean, that's like 800 gas that he can't use to tech or get upgrades. And as you can see, he hasn't even started an upgrade yet. In the meantime, Dubstep does have his 2 eBays down, so he should be starting that 1-1 upgrade any minute now. As soon as he gets the minerals for it, it looks like he's kind of banking a little bit of gas because he's only making medevacs at this point. So, does have to start cranking out those upgrades. If you look at the income tab right here, it's 55 over 42 for the Zerg, so the Zerg is in good position. He's got his 3rd base up and running. 1 Hellion running in here. I guess it came from this factory, but he's not going to do too much damage. This Queen will be able to shut him down fairly quick. And a couple Lings are coming in here as well, so actually a lot of Lings are coming in here, so this medevac and Marine Force is coming in as well, and they are going to be able to come in here. These Lings just do not have the firepower to deal with this amount of infantry, and they are going to be able to take out this 3rd base as well as that Mutalisk. So this 3rd base is getting taken out from Dubstep, so that's really good for him. He's going to keep himself in a great position here. Exactly what he wants to do. I'm really surprised there's no Banelings, and there are the Banelings now, a little bit too late, and these Marines getting left behind. No! Take us with you! We want to live! I really hope Dubstep goes and tells these Marines' families that they did not die in vain. They took out that hatchery, and they did their job, but now they are going to go down in all their glory. 1 Baneling had taken out those Marines there really quick, and he just had to remake this 3rd, which he is doing now. So at this point, I mean, Dubstep's in a pretty good position. He's got an even base so far. I mean, this base doesn't really count yet. And I mean, he knows exactly what Zerg is doing. And actually, this drop is going to get picked off, so he does have to drop off these Marines before the medevac gets taken out. and it looks like he will lose that medevac with about 6 Marines in it, but he is picking off a lot of Mutalisk. I think he's picked off 2 already, and he actually loses 2 medevacs as well, so fairly even there. I mean, he lost about 5 or 6 Marines in that first medevac, and I mean, he only lost 2 Mutalisk for 2 medevacs, so it's fairly even trade. So I mean, that didn't really do too much either way. These Marines did stem up a little bit though, so they are going to be a little bit low. Another task force coming out here from Dubstep. He's got 2 medevacs with some Marines. 1-1 is actually on the way. Combat shield also on the way. Stims is on, as you can see. And just drones coming out of Shaetan at this point. He does have to get these Mutas out here. They will get picked off by these Marines. Mutas and Marines in a straight up fight. I mean, it's just laughable that the Mutas are just terrible. They will not do any damage at all. But these Banelings will be able to clean up this Marine force no matter how good Dubstep splitting is. There's just too many Banelings. I mean, they're just going to do a ton of damage. And we do see that Marine force running in now. 1 Hero Marine running in first. He will see all these Lings and say, oh shit, run away, but they are not going to be able to get away in time. He has to pick them up. He picks up 1 group of Marines, but the rest get destroyed by the Banelings. So many Marines going down. Huge detonation there, picking off all those Marines. And the Mutalisk are going to come in and pick off this drop. These Marines being dropped off one at a time will not even kill a Mutalisk. They're just not going to do enough damage. And the Mutas will be able to take out these dropships as well if they decide to go do it. Which they actually don't. So, alright, those Mutas didn't decide to take out those medevacs, which is actually a really big error there by Shaetan, because these medevacs have a fair bit of energy, and I mean, they just add up, like, so exponentially as soon as you get, like, enough of them. Especially when you, like, you can see how Marines ball up a lot. When they can just heal the outer layer, like these Marines right here, then, I mean, these Marines in the middle don't take any damage, and these ones completely get healed, so it just adds up, and it becomes just a nightmare to deal with. So we do have a 3rd base going down now from Dubstep. He's going to take the gold. Very, very risky, but very rewarding if he can pull it off. He's probably going to PF this, and I mean, if he does get this PF up, this base is going to be fairly impenetrable. We do have Mutalisk coming into the main right now. They're going to try and do some harassment to these racks, but these Marines are going to shut that down pretty quick. The Marines do have 1-1, +1 melee on the way for the Zerg player. Just about done. He's going into Hive Tech as well. So fairly quick Hive Tech, considering he has no upgrades at all. He's only got 1 Evo. He should be going off 2. The last thing you want to do as a Zerg is fall behind in upgrades. I mean, Zerglings that fall behind in upgrades against the Terran, I mean, the Marines are just so much better than the Lings when they have better upgrades. I mean, it's actually really, really cost efficient. You have to deal with that. We have a drop coming into the main now as well, so it looks like these Marines are going to do a bit of damage here. They are going to be able to pick off all these Lings, but more Lings and Banes are running in now, so they are going to have to pick up and leave, but the Mutas are overhead, so these medevacs will be taken out as well. Really good trade there from Shaetan, shutting down that drop. 2 medevacs full of Marines, definitely worthwhile to pick off. But like I was saying, I mean, he has to keep up on upgrades here. It's going to be a huge downfall if he doesn't keep up on these upgrades. The Marines are just going to be too efficient against the Zerglings, and he's not going to be able to deal with this army good enough. And like I said, the PF is up now, so there's not really much of a way that he can deal with this PF. I mean, he can run Banelings in and detonate the Banelings on the PF, but it takes like 18 Banelings or something ridiculous like that to kill a PF, so I mean, it's really not that cost efficient. I mean, he's sacrificing for pretty much his whole army to kill a PF, so really, really not the position you want to be in. The Mutas actually don't even get that 2nd turret. I do expect a couple more to go down here from Dubstep, which he does actually do. The Marines do shoo away the Mutas pretty efficiently. But right now we do have a fairly large Ling Bane force. So that is something that he can be that he can keep with him. I mean, he should be attacking at this point. I mean, look at the supplies here. It's 186 over 135 for the Zerg player. He does have a couple of Infestors as well. I feel like this is the perfect unit composition to deal with this kind of a play, but he just has to go now and do some damage. He can lock down these Marines with a Fungal. He can kill off all of it with Lings and Banes. He can pick off these with the Mutas, and then he can just have free reign over this expansion right here. And it's really what he has to do. Or he can even come in here and kill off the stuff without the planetary. I mean, but he has to move out now. I feel like if he moves out now, he'll just straight up win the game. I mean, the Terran pretty much has nothing. This drop actually got picked off as well by the Mutas, so really, really good there from Shaetan, picking off those drops. Exactly what you have to do against this kind of style. If you can stop the drops, you pretty much win the game. Just because, I mean, if he can't drop you, he has to engage you straight up. You have so many Banes that you'll just kill him. And another medevac coming out this way while the Mutas are still here. And really good by Dubstep, putting down more turrets. A lot of Terrans make the mistake of not putting down enough turrets. They forget that the Muta count actually gets bigger throughout the game, and they just leave 1 or 2 missile turrets. And I mean, the Mutas come in and one-shot them, so they're really not going to be that efficient. We have another drop coming in here. I don't know if it got spotted by this Overlord or not. I really hope for Shaetan's sake it did, because this drop is going to be a pretty big drop. I mean, it's 16 Marines here coming in. This Greater Spire already fairly in the orange, so I mean, it's going to be able to get picked off if he doesn't react fast enough. And it looks like, no, he doesn't see it. The army does not move into the base, so he's only going to see this until it's too late. And this Greater Spire is going to get picked off. Yeah, there it goes. The Queen's going down as well. He may even get the Adrenal upgrade. No, he won't actually get the Adrenal upgrade, which is a good saving grace for Shaetan there. That is not what he wanted to lose. And the Marines do get picked up, but the medevac is actually going the wrong way. It does get picked off by Infestors, but this one does get away. So I would consider that a very, very good trade for Dubstep. He took out the Greater Spire, and he took out the spawning pool for the cost of 1 drop and 1 medevac. So I do think that was a really good trade there by him. We do have Corruptors out now for Shaetan, so he's going to be going in Broodlord. Not the greatest of choice. I feel like if you go Ultralisk Infestor against straight Marine is actually really good because, well, considering he doesn't have upgrades, I guess it isn't, but if you have fully upgraded Ultralisk against those Marines, I mean, the Ultras just live forever, and I mean, yeah, you can try Micro against it, but when you have the Infestors that can lock down with Fungal, I mean, it's really unbeatable. There's no reason to go Broodlord. Broodlord's really slow, and I mean, it's not really that good against straight Marine because, I mean, the way Broodlords work is they just make the tanks on siege so you can run in with the rest of your army, but I mean, at this point there's no tanks, so it's just straight Marines. They can run under the Broodlords and pick them off fairly quick. But we do have a lot of Banelings here from, oh my god, Shaetan, the Banelings. He's got 24 and 36 Banelings. Wow, that's again, no matter how much Dubstep decides to split, he really isn't going to be able to efficiently trade with, well, he can efficiently trade with this, but he's not going to be able to keep his army alive. And actually, it looks like these Banelings are going to come in here and take out this PF. That is definitely going to be a good move here from the Zerg player. But he does have to be careful here that his supply doesn't drop too low so that he doesn't lose the game on a counterattack. And the Planetary does actually go down. A lot of SCVs going down as well. Kind of surprised he didn't decide to finish these off, but I guess he just did his damage. He's going to get out of there really quick. And again, he just remaxes straight back up. But, I mean, he does have to be careful at this point. I mean, look at the upgrades. He's only 2-0 on his links. And, I mean, the Terran player is going to be 3-3 soon. And these Marines are going to be incredibly strong. And, I mean, he's really got to be careful here. And there's a lot of Banelings morphing in right now, which is good. And the Infestors do have full energy. That's a lot of Infestors. This army is going to get decimated if he decides to engage here. And I do expect the Infestors to come in with Fungals. They are going to try to pick off this 4th base. It looks like they might get it. But here come the Infestors and the Lings and the Banes right now, and huge Fungals going off on all the Marines, and the Banes are rolling in. The ton of damage being dealt to these Marines. All the Banelings are detonating. The Marines had no chance of surviving there. They were all locked down by the Fungal. A couple Marines are left over, but they will be taken out as well. So definitely really good trade there for the Zerg player, taking out all these medevacs as well. A ton of gas they were wasted from Dubstep, and a lot of Marines went down. You can see the supplies instantly shift in the Zerg's favor. I'm surprised he's not actually remaxing on Lings right now and just going to counterattack, because, I mean, at this point there's no tanks, so, I mean, if he rolls in with Banelings, there's really nothing the Terran player can do, and I feel like he's neglecting that thought. I mean, he's just sitting back and waiting and absorbing everything the Terran is giving him, basically, but, I mean, the Terran is getting a 3rd base up and running again, so, I mean, at this point the Zerg does have to be worried. If you look at the income tab, it's 48 over 46 for the Zerg, but if you count these double mules, I mean, these 2 orbitals are paying for themselves in spades right now. I mean, there's just so many mules that are coming down that, I mean, look, the Terran's economy is actually, like, really, really far ahead, and they're on the same amount of workers, so, I mean, the Zerg player has to do something about that. He has to go attack the Terran, and he can't just sit back and let the Terran do this. I mean, if the Terran decides to sit back and just deny these bases and stay on even grounds, he is going to win this game, because the Zerg is just not going to be able to trade efficient enough with these 3-3 Marines with his bad upgrades to really stay in the game. I mean, couple Lings running in here now to see if this 4th base is up and running again, but it isn't. We have a drop coming into the main as well. Not sure if this got spotted by Shaetan. It doesn't look like it. The army hasn't moved yet. He will be able to get this Baneling nest, or more importantly, maybe this Evo, but it looks like the army is moving in now, so great map awareness there from Shaetan to pick off this drop. It looks like these Marines are going to have to get picked up. The Banelings are rolling in now, and all the Banelings detonate on the Marines. None of them get picked up at all, so really, really not what Dubstep wanted to happen here, and Infestors are coming in now to pick off these medevacs, or they're not. Maybe they'll just let the medevacs live? Alright, so apparently Infestors take mercy. Who knew? But these Broodlords are actually caught out in the middle of nowhere, and all these Marines are going to pick off the Broodlords. 2 Broodlords, 3 Broodlords gone down so far. 4 or 5 Broodlords are gone down, so that is a huge loss right there. Easily worth it there for the Terran player. I mean, those Broodlords were really expensive. And I mean, that is, I'd do that trade any day as a Terran. These 2 medevacs kind of didn't really need to be picked off, because he could have just kind of ran away with them in a different direction, but he decided to run into the Mutas, so they will get picked off. Yeah, the Mutas do actually, I don't know why here, have my medevacs, I don't want them. He decides to run his medevacs back into the army, I don't know, but anyways, still worth it. I mean, 2 medevacs went down some Marines for a ton of Broodlords, so that's definitely worth it. A lot more Marines running in here now, trying to pick off the Broodlords. This Broodlord just barely surviving here. The Marines are trying to take charge on the map here, but there are just so many Lings and Banes at this point that the Banes are just going to do a ton of damage here. They're rolling in, and all the Marines are getting taken out by the Banelings. So many detonations going off. These Marines do have to run out of here. They will not be able to get away in time, and these medevacs are going to be under fire from these mutas, but I don't think they're going to be able to pick them off. There's only 3 mutalisks, so they may get 1, but I feel like that they're going to actually get shooed away by these Marines fairly quick. A little bit of a split there from Dubstep as well. Just trying to kind of divert that Baneling damage a little bit, but Shaetan did decide not to engage, as, I mean, there was a lot of Marines there, so I feel like that engage wouldn't have went well for the Zerg player. So now we just have pretty much mass Ling. I don't know where all his Infestors went. Okay, there are the Infestors. All these Infestors are full health, and, like, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, the Zerg player has to move out here. I mean, look at how much the Terran has. He only has Marines and medevacs. Like, if he were to engage this, he could lock down all these Marines with Fungal. He could roll in with the Banes and the Lings, and I mean, as soon as he takes out this army, he can just stream in units endlessly and eventually just overwhelm the Terran. He won't be able to do anything about it. But I feel like he's being a little bit too passive here at this point. I mean, he has to do something. He does have a 5th base up and running right now, but these Marines are running in here. They may be able to take out this 4th. It's already in the orange, but there are a few Infestors here, so they might be able to pick off this drop before it does any damage to the 4th. But he is dropping to the high ground for some reason. I'm also checking for a 5th base here. He's not going to find it. We have a counterattack as well coming over here for the Zerg player, so this command center is going to have to be lifted off. And in the meantime, these Marines are running into the 4th base here. This hatchery does go down. A lot of drones getting taken out as well. A couple of fungals going down, though, so these Marines will get picked off. But there are a lot of medevacs overhead keeping some of these Marines alive. But a big chunk of them did go down there. A couple of Infestors going down as well. This base actually got taken out by these Lings, so that is really good that he kept that base count fairly low. More drones getting taken out. He's running into the 3rd. This 3rd might also get taken out if he decides to focus it down, or is he going to go for drones? Looks like he's going to go for drones. Not a bad choice either. I mean, all the Lings and Banes are rolling in now, so he does have to get out of here. It looks like the Infestors are going to lock down all these medevacs as well, so these medevacs will go down. A pretty big loss there from Dubstep. That's a lot of medevacs. That was 6 medevacs that went down. They're going to be fungal locked for the rest of this. Oh, maybe he'll let a few get away. It looks like, yeah, he's going to let 2 of them get away. Again, if you really want to kill those medevacs off, I mean, all it would take was 1 fungal from one of these Infestors and they were dead. But he's going to let them live, so we'll see what happens there. But he does still have this gold up and running, so at this point, I feel like both players are fairly even at this point. I mean, the only thing I would give to Terran is the fact that he has such a huge upgrade advantage. I mean, he's got a 3-3 right now. The Zerg player is only on, I think it's, what, 2-0? 3-0 now at this point. He does have crack, but I mean, the fact that his armor is so low, the Marines are just going to melt the Lings before they get to him. And even the Banes can be kited as well. They're not very fast, so I mean, if they're off creep, the Marines are just going to be able to kite them forever. We do have a lot of Broodlords moving into the main now. These Broodlords also not upgraded. They're at 0-0, so the Marines are actually going to be fairly efficient against the Broodlords as well. But the barracks are under fire right now, so the Dubstep has to decide here what he's going to go for. It looks like he's just going to go for the 4th here for the Zerg, so he's going to try to pick off this base here and just deal with the barracks later. But a lot of Lings and Banes rolling in. A little bit of a split there, but not too much. A big fungal going down, and Banelings exploding over all the Marines. But there are still a lot of Marines alive, so they will be able to finish off this hatch. Really, really good move there for Dubstep, taking out that hatch. In the meantime, these Broodlords are picking off a lot of racks. They're also picking off the reactors, cutting the Terran supply literally in half. So, I mean, this is a fairly even trade, I feel like, at this point. The fact that the Zerg lost so many drones, though he's not remaking them, is fairly concerning. He does have to get that drone count back up, or he's just going to get out macroed. I mean, there's just no way he's going to be able to stay in the game. The Terran player has these mules. Another command center is actually finished here. You can turn that into an orbital whenever he wants. And it looks like these Broodlords are going to try and get away from these Marines. They will be able to, in fact, doing a little bit of damage to them as well. But they took out a lot of racks. Took out about 3 racks and reactors. This starport looks like it's actually going to burn down if he doesn't get an SCV over here to repair it. And yes, that's actually going to burn down. So that's another big loss. No more Vikings for you or medevacs. I feel like he's going to start going into Viking production here just because, I mean, that's really what's going to deal with these Broodlords is Vikings. So there's really important that he gets another starport up and running, and a little bit of an attack force coming out here again, a couple medevacs and some Marines, and I mean, no Banelings on the field right now, so this is pretty big. He has a big window here to attack. The fact that there's no Banelings means that, I mean, it's just Lings against these really upgraded Marines, so that's really good. He will be able to deny this hatch yet again, so this is going to go down here momentarily, and these drones will have to get out of here fairly quick. It looks like the Marines are just going to run up into the 3rd here, and there's not much here to deal with. There's a couple of Infestors out now, so these Infestors are going to have to be on the money with these fungals, and a couple of big fungals going off there. We didn't catch all the Marines. He will take out this little pocket of Marines. but he does have to come around and engage this. He is going to lose his base, it looks like, so this Thir's going to go down as well, and this is going to put the Zerg's mining down to nothing, and that is fairly huge. I mean, a big funnel going up there on those Marines, but the base went down, and that's the important thing, because now the Zerg has no income, and these Broodlords are moving back into the main here. They're going to try to do as much damage as they can, and they do have to do a lot of damage to get rid of this. It looks like the Terran is going to be taking this 4th base as soon as he can get rid of this Overlord, which these Marines are coming to do right now. But I mean, these Broodlords are just going to be shelling this main here. A lot of barracks are going down. He's going to be down to 6 racks once this is done. So this is important that he's losing all this stuff. The Zerg does have to take another base. I'm not sure why he hasn't put down another hatch yet, or why he's not distance mining. It actually just looks like he doesn't have enough drones to distance mine at this point. If you look at the income tab, it's 41/5, so yeah, only 5 drones for the Zerg player. I feel like he is out of this game. At this point, these Broodlords and these... Where are the Infestors? There should be more Infestors. Yeah, they're the Infestors. The Broodlords and the Infestors have to win this game. Because the Zerg just can't make any more army, because there's just no bases left for him to take. He's only got 5 drones. These Marines are coming in here. They may take out a Broodlord, which is pretty big. Every Broodlord is so important at this point. But the Broodlings are doing a good job of taking hits. It looks like 1 Broodlord did go down, maybe 2. And these Marines will live to see another day. And I mean, at this point, the Terran still has this base up and running. He will have this base up and running here momentarily. Just getting that up and running now. A little bit of a Ling run by, but I mean, he can just lift this off. It's not a planetary yet. And yeah, he does actually lift that off really quick. So at this point in the Zerg, he's really, really hurting here. He does have to get another hatchery down or just go all in. I feel like going all in is a better thing for him to do. I mean, he just has to bring up his Broodlords and his Marines. If he can take out this base here, and I mean, this base is mined out, so I mean, if he can take out this base here, he's pretty much back in the game. I mean, his Infestors and his Broodlords will not be able to be engaged by the Marines. The Broodlords are actually starting to make their way into the natural now, so this is starting to look bad for Dubstep. I mean, his production is under fire here. He's only got 6 racks making units, and I mean, a couple Vikings coming out of the starport. So at this point, I mean, he's going to be under fire here. He's really got to deal with these Broodlords. I mean, it's like I said before, if he can deal with these Broodlords, he wins the game. Just, I mean, straight up, he's going to win the game because, I mean, the Zerg just can't make any more units. He's still got some semblance of an income. He's got this 4th base over here, which is, I mean, it's going to be his money expansion. He has to keep this alive. It's all he has left. He can drop double mule, though. I mean, that's the advantage of having these... Oh, wait, no, he actually lost one of his planetary, or his orbitals, so he's only got 1 mule. But still, I mean, at the same time, that 1 mule is going to be able to support his... a lot of Marine production, so I mean the Zerg does have to move out now, and it looks like that's what he's doing. He's coming in with his Broodlords, who are still actually not upgraded, and I feel like that was the big downfall for the Zerg player of this game. I mean, the fact that he only got 3-1 against 3-3 Marines is just, I mean, it's inexcusable. You really can't fall that far behind against a Terran and upgrades. You're just going to get ran over, and I mean, essentially that's what happened. I mean, the Marines were just really, really strong in this game, and they were just too cost efficient. They took out entire armies. They picked off so many hatcheries, and I mean, they just couldn't be dealt with properly. And I feel like that was the big downfall for the Zerg player. He does still have a chance, however. He does have these Broodlords left, and he does have some Infestors wherever they are. There they are. There, yeah, he does have some Infestors, and he does have a couple of units as well if there's any Vikings around. So I mean, these Marines could pick off these Broodlords, but if these Infestors actually get a fungal down on the Marines to lock them down, the Marines will go down. And it looks like the Broodlords are going to come in and try to engage this base right here. They're going to come in and start shelling the planetary really quick. So this planetary is under fire now. Dubstep has to do something to stop these Broodlords. I feel like the Infestors are a little bit far away. If these Marines stim, they're going to get right under these Broodlords, and they are going to take them out. And there's the stim, and they do actually go under the Broodlords. 1 fungal going down. I feel like it's a little bit too late. All the Infestors get taken out, and I feel like that's going to be GG right there. There are still Infestors left over, and a couple of medevacs, and I don't know, this doesn't look good. There are more Marines coming here from Dubstep. And yeah, I feel like this is going to be GG right here. There's nothing left to protect the Broodlords. There's only 3 of them. They have no upgrades. The Marines are 3-3. They have this medevac right here. And it looks like, yeah, I do expect a GG coming out of Shaetan here, as there's just nothing you can do at this point. The Marines are just going to pick off all the Broodlords, and this is going to be game here. And yeah, there's the GG. So really long macro game there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.